All right, guys, welcome back to NFL Week 10 predictions. We did our predictions last week and the week before. We didn't record the week before, and I forgot to post last week's video, so I think I'm going to post it at the same time as this week's. Sorry. But last week we both went 10-4. We called some of the upsets, just to review. We both called Steelers over Colts. I called the Panthers over Packers. Uh, so yeah, we called a couple of the big ones. That's pretty cool. And then, like I said, I think I'm gonna post that video same time as this one. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. And then we'll get into this week's predictions. Starting with the Thursday night game, which already happened. We both said Denver before the game, though. It was a really ugly win, but they did win. So we're both 1-0 to start the week. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a game in Berlin. Falcons at Colts. I think this is a pretty interesting one. The Colts have new addition on the defensive side with Sauce Gardner. Falcons are really inconsistent. They come out there and look like one of the best teams in the league or one of the worst. I'm going to go with the consistency of the Colts. I also think they'll bounce back after a tough loss to the Steelers.
Yeah, I everything in my body says upset in Atlanta, but I can't put it down on paper calling Atlanta. So I'm also going to go Colts.
All right, sweet. And then we got the Saints at Panthers. Panthers have a winning record, guys, and they'll keep the trend going. The Saints are just not good, and the Panthers are decent. So Carolina will win this game and improve upon their record.
Yeah, let me look real quick. I think Carolina has a way better record than we think of. 5-4, 1-6. But here's the deal: it's a divisional game. I usually side with the home team, which in this case is the Panthers. But I think New Orleans moved away from uh, um, I can't remember the quarterback's name.
Rattler.
They got this new guy in,
Shuck.
and I don't know. I'm gonna go Saints.
Don't forget they did just trade Rashid Shaheed and one of their offensive linemen.
New Orleans did.
Yes, sir.
I didn't. I guess I didn't do a very good job of tracking all that. So basically, they've given up on the season.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead now. I'll go back to the Panthers, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot more contested than people give it credit for.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Giants at Bears. I think the Bears are 5-3. Sorry, guys, we're a little bit in shambles. But I do know the Bears have a winning record for sure.
Oh, that's last week.
It doesn't matter. They're 4-3. Right? Is that what I said?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. So they have a winning record though. The Giants definitely do not have a winning record. 5-3.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-3. I think that's what I said to begin. So killing it. The Bears' offense has started hitting its stride. It's looking pretty good. Giants are a decent team, but very banged up on offense. I'm just gonna go with the Bears. I'm kind of playing it safe. I do like the Giants in an upset, but with how hurt their offense is, I don't really see it happening.
You went with the Bears?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just think I know the Giants are beat up right now. Losing their running back and some other things like that. But I don't know. I'm gonna go with the G-men.
Okay. All right, and then we got the Jags at Texans. The Texans are coming off a loss, right, to the Broncos. I think they just lost to the Broncos with Davis Mills playing most of, if not the whole game at quarterback. So I don't know CJ Stroud's status. But I know the Jags are kind of not really doing too well lately either. Although they did just come off a win against the Raiders, where the field goal record was broken. Cam Little hit a 68-yarder, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I'll go with Houston. I just think their defense is a little too much for Jacksonville's struggling offense.
They're finding ways to win, right? So Jacksonville's finding ways to win, which, yeah, you want to see it probably a little more balanced. See the offense take more of the brunt of things. I know that the quarterback Trevor Lawrence has been a little bit of a letdown, a big letdown, I guess. But they're still 5-3, finding ways to win. They're going to find a way to win at Houston.
All right. And again, I don't know CJ Stroud's status for the Texans, but I already chose the Texans and I'm not changing it.
I wish when I did this, it didn't go back to the very week one every time.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Bills at Dolphins. This is an easy one for me. It is divisional, but Bills have owned the Dolphins for the past while, so I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Bills. I think that team is just built to win, built to win right now, and Miami, can't even be polite about it. It's just been a disappointment this year.
Yeah. Next up, we got Ravens at Vikings. Vikings are coming off their strongest win of the season against the Lions. Ravens got Lamar back, so their offense should, look a lot better. I'm going to take the Ravens, but I do think JJ McCarthy can have a career day against this weak Ravens defense.
Yeah, I just think that they got a little bit of igniting last week with Baltimore's win. But I'm gonna go Vikings. I think that somebody needs to step and stomp that fire out early. So I'm gonna go.
As a Steelers fan, I kind of hope Baltimore does lose. All right, and then we got the game of the week: the Browns and Jets. The Jets just trade away their two best, actually probably their two best players in general, and their offense is going to struggle against this spectacular Browns defense. So I think the Browns will win in a pretty unspectacular game.
Yeah, I think I would have probably went Jets because I think they played teams tough this year. Had they not traded away Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. But I agree with you, Tyler. I think that Cleveland comes out on top.
All right, next up, we got the Cardinals at Seahawks. Cardinals are coming off a good win against the Cowboys, while the Seahawks are coming off a really good win against the Commanders. And I got to go with the Seahawks. They've looked like a force this year. Really, if you're just ranking how teams have looked this year, you could even put them as high as number one. They've looked that good. Sam Darnold is playing like an MVP. Has Jackson Smith-Njigba on pace for 2,000 receiving yards. They just got another amazing deep threat in Rashid Shaheed. I just think this offense is going to be unstoppable, and the defense has been awesome as well. So I think it's really a no-brainer. I got to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Seahawks they're that team that is kind of like Tampa Bay. They're flying under the radar, even though they're doing big things this year. And so, plus the additions that you just talked about, I'm also going to go that route.
Yeah, okay. Next up, we got Rams at 49ers. I like both these teams a lot. I think CMC is flying under the radar as a MVP candidate. While he's not been a great rushing year, he's averaging about 3.5 yards per carry, which is pretty atrocious. He's also leading all running backs in total scrimmage yards. He's like 7th in the league in receiving yards as a running back, and he is their offense. As much praise as I just gave him, I am going to go with the Rams. They have an amazing defense. Stafford, again, he should be in the MVP conversation, and they just got Puka back as well. So
yeah, and then they got Devontae too, right? Yes. So I read a thing this morning that said that uh, surprise picks, and a lot of people have Stafford as MVP. But they also talked about Christian McCaffrey maybe breaking the all scrimmage yards record this season. So lots of good stuff going on there.
It's a division game too, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to side with Tyler on this one. I kind of want to go San Fran, but I also think that I know you talked about just Stafford being an MVP type candidate, but people forget like how good he is and controlling the game, clock management, and comebacks, and still at his age, as long as he stays healthy, able to throw that deep ball, and he has two great wide receivers.
Yeah. In a clean pocket, he might be the best passer in the league from a clean pocket. Uh, once he gets under pressure, it's a different story, but they have a pretty good O line there. So, plus 49ers have been awful at generating pressure since Bosa got hurt near the beginning of the year. All right, next up we got Lions at Commanders. I actually don't know if my dad saw, but Jane Daniels had a pretty horrific injury this past week against Seattle. His arm bent the wrong way.
No, I didn't see that.
Apparently, they're not putting him on IR, and they're actually going to evaluate him this coming up week, which I think is a mistake. But he's definitely not playing in this game. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit though. Even though they're coming off a tough loss without Jane Daniels, I just think this Commanders team is abysmal. The receiver's been hurt. I don't know who's playing. I actually think Debo might be listed as the running back one right now. I don't know. It's all a mess, and I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the year I actually predicted them to miss the playoffs. So,
yeah, I think you did too, and so I'm going to go Detroit as well. A lot of the same things you said, obviously. I also think Detroit and Tampa are the two best teams in the division. Los Angeles, right there, the Rams. I think those three
what about the
teams.
Eagles?
I think the Eagles are overrated. I mean, they might have the record to support that. Same thing, Green Bay. People that were really high in Green Bay. I just think as you get deeper down into playoff competitions, uh, I would take those teams over the Eagles because I think they can win in multi-facets.
Right.
I think I think the Eagles would be a lot scarier had the running back been performing the same way they did last year. Mm-hmm. Then they're a scary team because then you take a lot of pressure off of Jalen Hurts. Anyways, we're talking about the wrong team.
Yep.
But I think Detroit, well balanced, well coached. You gotta love what they're doing there. Out of the NFC, if it's not Tampa Bay, I'm kind of pulling for them. So,
all right. Next up, I think we have a pretty good one. We've got Steelers at Chargers. This is a Sunday night game, huh? Yeah, the Chargers, both their tackles are hurt again. Joe Alt is out. He got re-injured, and for that reason, even with him, I might have picked the Steelers. They're coming off a really good win against the Colts, which the score looked a lot closer than the game actually was. The last 10 points the Colts scored was just prevent defense so they didn't get big plays. Anyways, I think the Steelers pass rush will come to play against the depleted Chargers O-line. And yeah, I think that's what it'll come down to. I think it'll come down to our defense. We'll see how the Steelers offense plays.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The Steelers, I think, have been underrated. I think the defense has been underperforming. I like what they did last week. The defense getting some takeaways. I'm not a big fan of prevent because you do end up giving up chunk yards and some trash touchdowns, but you're trying to control the team a little bit more. But listen, I believe in Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I just think that he should get a lot more credit. If you actually talked about MVP, this is what I think MVP should be. How well did you elevate the team? And I think he's elevated the team to make him relevant this season.
Yeah, I feel like the Steelers have had more drop issues than the average person realizes. It could just be because I watched every Steelers game, so I notice it more. But I think Rodgers has looked really good. Another person that if there's no pressure, he's gonna throw some dimes, and sometimes even at his old age, he'll still roll out and rip a pretty nice ball.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed watching that game last week.
Yeah. All right. Next up, speak of the devil from a few minutes ago. We got Eagles at Packers, and this is an interesting one. I think Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken, has had the best run defense in the NFL this season. So that bodes pretty well for them against this Eagles team, where if they get the run going, that's what makes them scary. And if they don't get the run going, I think that really benefits Green Bay because they'll have Micah and Rashawn Gary coming off the edges, putting pressure on Jalen Hurts, who can sometimes make mistakes when under pressure. So I'm going to go with Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Philly, when the run game is going, they're scary because Jalen has just enough uh, arm talent to make it scary when the defense comes up to stop the run, and then when they back off, obviously he can do some things too. But I think it all starts with the running back. You can't put it all on Jalen's shoulders, which is what I feel like has been happening this year. Um, Green Bay, I think they're a talented team. I think they're overrated overall, overarchingly. But I do agree with Tyler. Good run defense, pressure from the outside, in force pass situations is going to force Philly into some mistakes. And so I like Green Bay in this one as well.
Yeah. Although Tucker Kraft, the Packers tight end, did just get hurt. Think he's out for the season, and he was their, if I'm not mistaken, their leading receiver. If not, it was close, and he was popping off. Like against the Steelers, he had over 140 yards and 2 touchdowns or something fucking ridiculous. All right, we're missing games, right? Or at least
Well,
a
we're
game.
missing a game, and I wrote it up here, and you skipped it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then I pointed at it later, and then you totally ignored me.
I made a mistake and kind of skipped this game. It's a good game too, so
And it's my team, so I don't know how we skipped it.
yeah. But in the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, wherever you are, that slate of games, the early slate, there's the Buccaneers at Patriots, and I'll let you go first.
Yeah. First of all, you can see we printed it off, and for some reason it admitted that. So that game, I don't know why. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a hard fought game. I think the Patriots are a team to be reckoned with. They're kind of surprised the AFC. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tampa Bay has maybe in some cases overperformed with the lack of health, and it's not getting any better. I seen anything yesterday where I read to where like Tez and Mbuka, those are our guys this week. Chris Godwin. I think it said that he was questionable, but he really wasn't practicing. So that's our three receiver lineup. And when you think about Mike Evans is going to be gone for a long time. You think about Jalen McMillan. We don't know when he's going to come back. Broken neck. Bucky Irvin's still out.
What happened to him?
Which is he hurt like everything in the one game. which is a big thing. But it looks like we may. I don't know if he's going to be back this game, but it looks like one of our linemen are coming back, which will help us if they do come back indeed and play this game. Because I think a lot of our problems start with our offensive line. If Baker has a little bit more time, good things are going to happen. And of course, the Pats defense is pretty good. I mean, they're being coached by a defensive-minded guy.
They have one of the best corners in football with Christian Gonzalez.
And so it's going to be a good game. But Tampa Bay has to keep pace with the rest of the NFC leaders. And I like to think, since they just came off their bye, that they had plenty of time, the coaches, to prepare and then prepare the team this week. We should be well prepared, well rested. Some of those aches and pains that Baker was feeling, because he's pretty beat up too, hopefully are healed enough to where he can do some of that magic he did the first 3 weeks. So, and that for that reason, I'm going Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Patriots. Drake May has looked like an MVP candidate. He's been playing spectacular. I know last week though he did have a couple fumbles and interception. I think if he does that against the Bucks will win the game. And I think while the Bucks secondary can be questionable at times, I think a few big plays will be given up. Big passes. But I am going to go with the Bucks defense. They looked. I know it's against the Saints, but a couple weeks ago they looked really good. I think they'll force at least one turnover, and I think that'll be the difference.
Yeah, speaking of that game was trash. Referees trash. Tyler and I were there in person and watched the game, and I want to tell you that
Phantom whistle.
phantom ghost whistles and everything else. Winfield should have had a bunch of splash plays that game. Winfield Jr. I think I called back. So any referees out there, NFL can't find me. You were trash that game. So.
All right. That's all the games, right?
It is.
All right. Spectacular. I keep saying that we might do a mid-season awards thing soon. We'll see what happens. We have a really busy day ahead of us. I'm just glad we carved out time for this. Yeah, that's really all. See you next time.
Until next time.